Goblin Slayer, Another Adventure, Nightmare Feast is set to release onto the Nintendo Switch later this year, specifically in this fall. And not only did we get a bunch of brand new details thanks to the brand new developer update, but we also have a brand new trailer which you guys should be able to see right there. Not only do we have a bunch of new details and new gameplay, we also have some new information that I think is going to bring a lot of players into the fold for this relatively popular anime now transitioning over into a game. So today I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a recap as to everything that we know for Goblin Slayer, Another Adventure, Nightmare Feast. So first and foremost, you should probably know that this is a tactical RPG or a strategy RPG as they're relatively known. Think of like Fire Emblem, for example. Not only that, they're doing sprite-based characters, which looks like 2D sprites, traditional stuff, but on 3D backgrounds. So a lot of people are making comparisons to like HD 2D graphics with all the fluffy, blur effects that Square Enix loves to do on their HD 2D games. But at the end of the day, it certainly resembles something akin to that. The new trailer that you do get to see showcases new gameplay visuals, new combat gameplay, where you get to control multiple characters and you can direct them around specifically in the arena with brand new grid-based combat movement. Also, you can see some of the characters' attacks and brand new arts as well. Not only that, some of the rather popular characters from the anime are making an appearance, but also brand new story-specific characters will be introduced as well. This game is being worked off by Apollosoft and Mebius, and Bushin Road, a Japanese publisher, is working to release it. So there's a lot of collaborations happening at the same time for this game to release, presumably later this year, hopefully, specifically onto the Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. There is no PlayStation or Xbox release confirmed as of yet. According to the blog update, though, they did provide us with a little bit of an outline as to what the story will be presenting, and they mentioned that Goblin Slayer's first console title game is called Goblin Slayer, Another Adventure, Nightmare Feast. By the way, I am going to be leaving a link in the description below for their blog update, which is all in Japanese, so I've done some translating on my own. They mentioned that the game is currently in development. The original creator of the series, Kumo Kaiju, is in charge of the original concept and series composition, while the main character designers are still being handled by Noboru Kanatsuchi, who also worked on the original series and the original anime as well. The game will feature new story and 4 connected worlds from the original characters. As mentioned above, this will be a tactical RPG or a strategy RPG with keeping in the style of Goblin Slayer, where players will have to consider the positions of the units on the battlefield, as well as strengths and weaknesses of both ally and enemy units. The game is currently in development and is planned to release in the fall later this year. On top of that, we have a little bit of character outlines, which they talk about just some of the characters that are being introduced. For example, like the Guildmaster, the heroine of the world, an aristocrat girl that has been appointed as the guild master of Frontier Guild, branching after has passed away, and she is well behaved, but she is a very active member and sometimes rushes in alone. I'm going to try to overlay some of those character portraits that they do put on the website for you guys to be able to see them as well. The second character that they mentioned is the Blood Princess, a vampire girl that wakes up after a long sleep who joins the Guild Master on their adventure, and she is rather irrelevant and selfish temperament, like the queen who looks down on humans. They also talk about the Squire. This is a childhood friend of the Guildmaster who's an active adventurer. Although he is active, he tends to surpass the Guild's rushing master as soon as they require. So they're introducing some of the characters that are going to be part of the story, as you're not necessarily controlling the Goblin Slayer's main party. They're kind of like an afterthought or added in as characters that you know of in this world, but they're not necessarily the main characters of the game, at the very least starting out. They also introduced the Polar Bear Priest. They talk about a bear race circuit rider who worships the Earth Mother. He has as warm as he is experienced and calm personality and his healing traits. They also talk about Conan, a ruined soldier who wears green robe and is armed with an iron spear, who is a novice adventurer, or so apparently. But there's a hidden secret that not everyone knows about. They also talk about Lady of Principality, a childhood friend of the guildmaster who is a noble daughter of the neighboring territory. She is highly trained in magic, benevolent, and a high degree of dignity. Also a friend of Goblin Slayer. And interestingly enough, they then introduce him and his party. The Goblin Slayer, a strange adventurer who mainly operates out of a city located on the frontier. It's funny how he's pretty much the main character of the game, but they don't necessarily give him that much of a backstory. They also talk about the priestess, a novice priest who joins the Goblin Slayer on their adventure. So if you of course have watched the anime, you know who these characters are. They also talk about the high elf archer, a high elven range that joins the Goblin Slayer on their adventure. Again, not a lot of detail for each one of the characters that you already know. The dwarf shaman, a dwarven shaman that joins the Goblin Slayer on their adventure. Shockingly, a lot of details provided there. And lastly, of course, a fan favorite, of course, the lizard priest, a lizard who joins a lizard priest who joins the Goblin Slayer on their adventure. So there you have it. Pretty much all of the characters you would expect to make an appearance on this game are there, but also main characters that appear on the story are also going to be appearing there. And I did see a lot of people kind of suggest this should have been a little bit of a dungeon crawler type of experience. They would have expected a Goblin Slayer game to be a dungeon crawler, not necessarily a strategy RPG, but interestingly enough, they seem to be doing their very own thing. The developers of Polosoft and Mebius are kind of like known for doing strategy games in the past, whether it's on consoles or mobile devices, so it shouldn't come to too much of a surprise. I am more interested in the visual look of this game because again, it is representing a little bit of like, hey, they're doing pixel art for the characters, 3D backgrounds, 3D moving, generated assets for the world itself, and of course the after effects for magic and stuff like that, and runes or whatever. So it does give a little bit of a HD 2D kind of look type of situation, but at the end of the day, they're doing some really interesting things, and I certainly cannot wait to hear more details. This is obviously going to be one of those games that as it releases, I'm going to be trying to review, because this is probably one of the best type of franchises, not only anime wise, that I'm interested in, but more importantly, gameplay type strategy games are definitely my forte with deck builders. So at the end of the day, I'm certainly gonna try to keep my eyes peeled for more details. But that's about all the information that I have for you guys today, and everything that we know about this game so far, which is once again set to release this fall onto the Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.